So in previous videos that we've done, we've focused largely on videos to help you improve your life. And so what I want to do in this video is I want to focus on ways to improve other people's lives. Specifically, how to be the person they need. Every time I go to a comic book convention, every time I sit on a panel, every time I do a live stream, every time I meet fans in a way to where they can ask me questions directly, inevitable. The question that fans will ask is, who's my favorite superhero? Which superhero do I like the most? And every time I will tell them, Superman. And they'll say, why? Like, everybody loves Superman. And I'll say, yes, I love the character of Superman because of what he represents. If you could put a narrative to what Superman represents, then you could imagine yourself being some citizen in the city of Metropolis. And by whatever manner and whatever means, the town just it just pops off one day, right? Like Doomsday comes back and just starts ripping the city apart. Somebody fed Batman bath salts and he's just shooting up the town with an M16. Whatever the case is, the whole city's going to pieces, right? And like there's fire and there's smoke and there's car horns going off in the distance and explosions, 5 blocks away, and there's people running and screaming, and you are absolutely sure that it's the end times, that everything that you and your wife or your husband or your family or whatever, everything that you've built is gonna come crashing down around you. Like you are so sure that you are done. At this point, you're hugging your loved ones and just waiting for the end. And then you hear it. This thing that sounds like a gunshot from what's 50 miles away, if you can even hear that far. It was like this gunshot from some distance away. And then after some amount of time, it turns into a whistle, which turns into a distant scream, which turns into a reasonably close shout, which turns into a roar, and then it stops. And you come running outside in the dead quiet, and you see him standing there with the boots and the belt and the cape and the whole 9 yards, Superman. And the whole city of Metropolis, the entire city of Metropolis, there's this collective sigh, right? Just this, and the tension begins to go down and people begin to relax. Why? Because Superman's here. And Superman will save us. He will save the day. He'll stop whatever's going on. Superman will protect us. Now, the reason why I give you that spiel is because I think it's important for you to become Superman in other people's lives, right? I mean, you know that from your own experiences. In your own experiences, you struggle with things. You struggle with anxiety, or you struggle with depression, or you struggle with a job that you hate, or you struggle with friends who have left you hanging, or you struggle with breakups, or you struggle with any number of things. You know what it means to struggle in this world. And it is very easy to focus exclusively on yourself, to say like, I am the source, the universe revolves around me, I'm the one that matters the most, everybody else is secondary. That's kind of the culture that we live in, right? Like the me first movement, i.e. the millennial generation, my generation. Like I come first, I'm the most important person. Why? Well, because everywhere I go, there I am. And so it's easy to only focus on yourself, to only care about yourself. It's very, very easy to do that. But I think it's important for you guys to understand the value of the role that you can play in the lives of other people. With people out there, with friends out there, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, struggling with the kind of things they're struggling with. Struggling with friendships that have maybe gone bad, struggling with former breakups, struggling with anxiety, struggling with depression. It's important that you stand firm in their lives and that you tell them, come what may, no matter what might happen, everything will be fine. Because I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So long as we have each other, everything will be okay. You say that to your brother, to your sister. You say that to your mom, your dad, to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. Be the person they need. Here's a really, really good example. My stepmom is a fiercely independent woman, right? Like fiercely independent, to the point where she's just like, if I can't do it on my own, then there's a really good chance that it probably won't get done. She'll like ordering dumpsters in order to get stuff thrown out of the house, something like that. She'll do that, of course, because at that point it's just an access to resources she doesn't have, as opposed to the ability to just do something on her own. But if she can't do it on her own, very rarely will she ever call for help. And I promise you guys, as sure as the sun has risen today, I've read her the riot act about that. Like I've ripped her apart and said, like, you're being an idiot. You have to learn to ask for help. You can't take it. You can't do it all on your own. There's no conceivable way you could. You'd run yourself ragged. And half the time she doesn't want to listen. Some of the time she does. And I have to tell her that over and over again. You have to reach out now. You have to reach out for people, because that's why we're here. We're here to help you when you need us. You're here to help us when we need you. And you have to learn to be that person. So many people out there, by whatever manner and whatever means, so many people out there will treat themselves like Atlas, destined to hold up the weight of the world for all eternity, doomed to that position by Zeus. They're gonna stay there for all time at the center of the world, holding its weight up. So many people do that. And this weight consists of a variety of things. All these struggles, all these things that they're dealing with. Your job is to be able to go to them and to be able to say, let me hold that up for a while. And they'll fight you and they'll say, no, I can do it. But if you can tell they're exhausted, then say, yes, you can. I know you can. You've been doing it all this time. The proof is in the pudding. But right now you need to go take a break. You need to go sit down. You need to catch your breath. You need to relax. Let me hold this up for you. And then when you're ready, you can come back. Come back on your time. If all you need is 30 seconds, then come back in 30 seconds. If what you need is a week or two, then come back in a week or two. Whatever the case is, be the person that can help them bear the burden of the things they struggle with. Be that source of hope. That they're not destined to be alone forever, or they're not destined to deal with these struggles forever, or they're not destined to work at a job they hate forever, or they're not destined to be friendless forever. Be the person that reminds them that there's a better life out there, that there's a better world out there. There's more than these struggles and these trials and tribulations they've been enduring. Be the person who represents that. Be the person who tells them that. It's important that you do. And you don't do this because you feel like you have to. You don't do this because it's a job that's been assigned to you. You do this because you want to. Because for you, it's a need. You need to make sure they're okay. You need to make sure they don't run themselves ragged. Because you're their friend. You're their boyfriend. You're their husband. You're their wife. You're their girlfriend. That you want to be the one to help them bear the burden of this life they live. Whatever struggles they endure. To help them every step of the way. And to remind them that you will because you're not going anywhere. Be that person. It's easy not to. It's easy to tear people down and rip their lives apart, but don't be the person who does that. Be the person who's a source of hope. Be Superman. Anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and bring this video to an end. And yeah, I will catch you all later. Peace.